Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Johnny told Chad at Doug and Julie's residence that he planned to marry Chanel on Valentine's Day. Chad was uneasy when Johnny invited him to be his best man. Chad recalled the DiMera family's recent difficulties, including EJ and Nicole's anguish over losing their baby and Gabby being moved to Statesville. Chad's words confused Johnny. "You don't understand it, Johnny. When someone marry into this family, they are likely to be hurt or killed. Look what happened to Abby," Chad remarked. Chad became enraged when Johnny stated that Chad was overreacting. Overreacting? Do you want to be like me, Johnny? Huh? Do you want to throw flowers on your wife's tomb because she was murdered in her own bed? Listen, being a DiMera is a perilous undertaking. We are a spiteful, vindictive, and mean group of people, Chad stated. Chad continued. And we were raised by an unscrupulous man, or not raised. I wasn't even raised as a DiMera, yet nonetheless I got drawn into the web. You were born into it. And I believe you're much more of a DiMera than you admit. So, if you truly love Chanel, you will keep her as far away from you as possible, Chad insisted. Johnny disagreed, and as he began to leave, Chad acknowledged that he was having a difficult morning dealing with his sadness over Abigail. Chad said that he still believed in true love, but he continued to caution Johnny. And if you have genuine love for Chanel, you stick onto it. You keep it safe, because it's a difficult thing to do as a DiMera, Chad said. Johnny suspected Chad actually believed their family was cursed, but he insisted that he and Chanel would not flee Salem. Chad remarked that Johnny had truly matured, and that he would be honored to be Johnny's best man if the offer was still valid. Johnny agreed, and he and Chad hugged. Johnny said he had a question for Chad. If you knew everything that you know now, would you still have married Abigail? Johnny asked. Chad considered the question before speaking. Yeah, I would have grabbed her hand and ran for the hills. I would have done anything to save her and have her with me right now. Yes, Chad said with studied conviction. Chanel and Paulina were discussing wedding plans at a table in Horton Town Square when Johnny approached them. Before going to attend to her mayoral duties, Paulina showered Johnny with affection. Chanel suspected Johnny was upset after Paulina departed. Johnny stunned Chanel when he suggested they postpone the wedding. Chanel disregarded the concept that marrying into the DiMera family put her life in danger as a bunch of hooey after hearing Johnny's conversation with Chad. And even if it wasn't, I would risk my life 1,000 times over to be with you, Chanel murmured, resting her hands on Johnny's face and looking into his eyes. I feel the same way, Johnny confessed before kissing Chanel. Chanel tried to convince Johnny that he was not like the rest of his family, adding that he was his own man. Johnny grinned and thanked Chanel for being a voice of reason. Johnny and Chanel leaned very close and kissed. Before pulling into a warm embrace, the pair expressed their love for each other. In the park, Alex complained that Brady had not apologized to him for kissing Teresa. Brady claimed he didn't feel the need to apologize, and he assured Alex that the kiss meant nothing. Brady stated that if Alex continued to see Teresa, he would have to adjust to Brady's presence in Teresa and Tate's lives. Alex asked Brady what it was like to be married to Teresa. Brady was caught off guard by the question, so he inquired as to whether Alex was considering marrying Teresa. Alex claimed he wasn't, but he admitted he wanted to learn more about Teresa. Brady said Teresa could be a beautiful person, but she also had a very wicked and wild side that can be unleashed at any moment. Brady stated that he was live proof that it was difficult not to pursue a harmful road with Teresa, and he cautioned that Alex had just scratched the surface of who Teresa was as a person. Brady expressed his hope that things would work out between Alex and Teresa. Harris and Jada celebrated a drug raid that resulted in the seizure of nearly 2,000 opioid tablets, cocaine, and crystal meth. Jada directed 2 cops, a guy named Goldman and a lady named Phillips, to preserve the evidence. When the officers left, Jada revealed she was concerned Harris couldn't get Ava out of his thoughts. Harris attempted to discount Jada's fears. When Goldman and Phillips returned, Harris asked them to join him and Jada for breakfast. Later, at the Brady pub, Roman was overjoyed to announce that breakfast was free for the 4 Salem PD officers who had participated in the narcotics bust. After serving dinner to everyone, Roman told humorous anecdotes about his time on the Salem Police Department. Roman emphasized that no one will forget their time with the force. Harris asked for a toast to Roman and his decades of service on the force. To Roman, everyone toasted. Harris approached Roman at the counter and inquired about Lucas. Roman stated that Lucas was resting and recovering from the injuries he got in Statesville. Roman inquired how long Harris intended to keep Lucas in the room above the tavern. As long as it takes, or until we know for sure that nobody's watching, Harris answered. Just then, Harris noticed Goldman and Phillips laughing with Jada at their table. Stefan opened the door to Xander at the DiMera mansion, where he revealed that he had received a bizarre call from someone using a blocked number, asking him to murder someone. Stefan inquired as to whom the man had requested that Xander kill. Xander replied he wasn't sure, but whoever had called him was aware of his criminal history. Xander deduced that the individual had been EJ. Xander remembered that EJ had hired a contract assassin to try to murder Ava months before, so he assumed EJ was behind the call he had received. Stefan laughed at the idea that EJ was the only one who would order a hit on someone, and he didn't like Xander coming after Stefan's family. Stefan then insulted Xander's abilities as a member of the underworld, wondering why EJ would have chosen Xander of all people. Xander defended himself against Stefan's remarks, recalling previous underground encounters with the DiMeras. Xander claimed that he had changed his life after discovering he was Victoria's father and became a half-owner of The Spectator. So, you tell your brother that he's gonna have to find somebody else to be Salem's neighborhood hitman, 'cause I'm not interested. Xander swore. Stefan accused Xander of making up the odd call and asked him to leave. Xander emphasized that Victoria had transformed him and then instructed Stefan to tell EJ to go to hell. Oh, you can go there as well. Although I suppose it's sort of redundant to tell DiMeras to go to hell, considering that's where you're all going anyway. In due time, Xander huffed before leaving. It was hard not to have you here. But having you here now makes me appreciate you even more, Stephanie explained. I hope you know how much I've always loved you, Steve said quietly. Steve told Stephanie he was worried about her. I think I know where this is headed, so I'll just get right to it. Yes, I was with Everett last night. No, nothing occurred. Maybe I still feel for him, but I'm not going to hurry back into a relationship with him. Does that solve all of your questions? Stephanie said. Steve said yes.